Hey guys, Clean by Chrissy. I thought this time I'll do another video. This time I let my microwave and stovetop get grimy so I can show you what I use to clean it. So normally when I clean the kitchen, I do it like my favorite cleaners, which is of course Dawn Power Wash. I just reuse the bottle like I mentioned before. You can just take this top right off, boom, and just refill it. And I just add Dawn soap, rubbing alcohol, just a squirt of both, and the rest water. And then this is just a regular squirt bottle you can buy anywhere. And I use similar Dawn soap, rubbing alcohol, vinegar, and then water. So this one kind of sprays out with a nice little foam, and this one does not. But I just use both. I don't know. It just seems to work for me. So anyway, what I normally do is when I clean in the kitchen is I will just start spraying down everything first and let it soak for a little bit. But first and foremost, I'm going to get out the glass dish here. I'm going to go ahead and spray that and let that sit over here. So just soak away, and then I'm just going to go nuts on, actually my sprayer, I don't like it in that stream. I like it more of a, there we go. I was actually using it to clean a floor too. It really works great for a lot of things. You just buy your basic cleaning ingredients, save some money. You don't have to buy all this actual stuff that's made. You can make it yourself for a fraction of the price. Your basic cleaning materials would be, of course, the spray bottle. Get some cleaning vinegar is a little more acidic than regular vinegar, but just by 1%. You can buy the 30% vinegar. That stuff is really strong. I use that just to kill weeds in the yard. That stuff works great, by the way. A little bit of Dawn soap, that 30% no water, sprayed on some weeds outside. Next time I get weeds, I'll show you that. Anyway. But yeah, I like to have it in the spray form. But, oh yeah, so I was saying that also this shower cleaner, I call it, works great as a floor cleaner as well. All right, so I got that all soaking. Actually, I kind of want the door too because it's kind of grimy everywhere. You might see a Chihuahua in the film because he likes to come around and see what I'm doing. Right? All right. Be right back. I'm going to let it soak, and then I'm going to start scrubbing it. Just in case you wanted to see the Chihuahua, my cleaning buddy. He's like, yeah, right. All right. Let's sit for a couple minutes. Let it soak. All right. Let it soak for a little bit. I didn't realize I got to spray this door, too. This is really... I'm assuming it's the oil from the stovetop that's getting on top of the microwave because that's really grimy. Whew. Yeah. All right. So this is what I bought off Amazon. It's like these stainless steel type, non-scratch type rags. But you can always just use a typical sponge with a greeny bottom, like a, let me see, like one of these kind of sponges. Doesn't matter. Just something with some kind of abrasive that's not going to scratch. All right. So now I am going to start cleaning. Then, of course, I've got my rags in my pocket. I always have that ready to go. All right. But if you let it soak for a few minutes, it helps so you don't have to scrub too hard because it's going to loosen everything up. There is some areas that I guess I could have had soaked just a little bit longer. That is a little more of the Power Dawn. I like how it does spray like that foamy thing. However, this bottle's working. I can use this bottle for quite a while and then stops working. I just buy a brand new actual Power Dawn wash. And when I use that up, use that bottle to refill it with my rubbing alcohol, Dawn soap, and water. That's the big power wash ingredient is the rubbing alcohol, I guess. So. And you know, honestly, I don't know if you have to use Dawn soap. I just do, but I'm pretty sure if you use any kind of dish soap, it would work just as good. I would say though, the Dawn Power Wash themselves have like all sorts of different scents now. They even had like a pumpkin spice one for the holidays. The store I work at, they put it on clearance because they said it stunk. I thought it was okay. It was a little weird. I think this one is crisp lilac. So I was like, okay, interesting. They actually, I think they had a watermelon one. So. All right. Definitely the more grimier your microwave is, the longer you should let it sit and saturate in all the soapy cleaner, because then it will come right off a lot easier. So this too, I'm going to wipe this down with my rags. So yes. All right, I'm only taking a break because I'm having some coffee. I had a day off today, so I was like, oh, why don't I do a cleaning video? I like to stay productive on my days off. Otherwise, I get lazy. Right, Chihuahua? Yes. Okay. So doing the same thing, just using my little stainless steel scrubby rag to get everything around here. All the stuff that needs to be cleaned up comes right off. And then with the stainless steel, I noticed, don't bother with buying a stainless steel cleaner. Buy Orange Glow. That stuff works so much better. And I found that out off a Facebook group for housekeepers. You should join it because like you can find out a lot of people have a lot of tips in there. And that's where I found it. I was like, oh, let me try that. And man, because you know, some of these stainless steel, I'm going to try my own, can be more challenging than others where it still streaks. And so far I've noticed the Orange Glow has been the best. I actually have stainless steel cleaners. And I don't bother anymore because that Orange Glow works way better. And it works as a furniture polish, obviously. So when you've got your rag all seasoned up from shining up your refrigerator or whatnot, then you've also got a seasoned rag to start dusting afterward. So it's like cleaning on a budget. All right, let me get the face of this oven here. Yes, Jovi. I don't have any food for you. I think he was hoping I would have some drops from the stove for him. I got nothing. Sorry, buddy. Okay, I am ready. I got the plate. Yes, I got the plate. Okay, now I'm ready to rinse everything. Let me get another sip of coffee. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I am going to wet this a little bit with water. I have two rags. So I have this one. I got the one in my pocket. And now I'm going to just start wiping this down. The inside and outside. Just wanted to get the outside first in case there's any drippage, but I don't see any, so. All right. This piece is very loose. Be careful with that. Also, be careful. There was one time this lady had a cracked plate and the thing broke and cut my fingers. Not pretty. So be very careful if you see that. All right, I'm gonna have to. All right, let me be right back. See if I can put this thing back on. All right, we're good. We're good to go. Just a little careful about wiping it so I don't knock it off again. This is not the most expensive microwave. All right. let me wet my rag a little bit one more time. Also, what also helps, you can also do like a bowl of hot water with the Dawn soap and the vinegar. That also might help if you have a really caked on microwave that needs a good scrubbing. I was just on a whim with my sprayers, but that would help as well. All right, let me get my any extra that I'm seeing here. All right, let me dry this thing up. Rinse it real quick, actually, beforehand. All right. All right, and then I'll shiny that up at the end with the orange glue, like I was showing you. And I'll do another video shining up my refrigerator and that dishwasher. Those are both complete stainless steel, and they are definitely needing a little shine. Okay, gotta line that up. All right. This definitely has a lot of residue. All right, let me see about the orange glue. Be right back. Okay, this stuff I'm talking about. In fact, it's actually doing a good job getting rid of all the gunk that I couldn't just get off just now. So that actually was a win-win on that situation. I'm going to shiny up this with a regular towel afterward, but I just thought I would try to see if this is going to actually help get rid of any residue that I'm seeing. But since it's an oil, it's going to be streaky on this panel, so. But it definitely did a good job getting rid of it on here. Good job on that. Okay. I'm going to actually use my shower cleaner now. Oh yeah, let me show you those e-cloths I was talking about before that you don't necessarily have to have. They're like 14 bucks for a pack of 2. Let me be right back and show you that for the mirrors and windows. So these do work great as far as streak-free windows and mirrors. But sometimes I just use my regular rags too. But if you have like a real challenging mirror that's like no matter what, it's just going to streak, these seem very foolproof and all you need is water. So I'm going to leave these out just in case I need to break that out. Okay, so I'm going to wet this a little bit. This is a new rag, so I can clean up the display here, the window. Still has a little bit of residue, so. I'm just using my own house, so it's nobody's. I'm not at a cleaning video, doing a video on it. I would love to. There's some beautiful homes I clean, but no, I don't want to do that. So you might hear a dog barking. I think you hear people outside. I don't know what the heck they're doing. It sounds like they're jackhammering something. But I have my mic so you can hear me too. Hopefully over that stuff. Okay. Just trying to get it to. I'm going to use my other rag again, the seasoned rag, just to get all the residue that I'm seeing on this panel here. I know some of these panels have, I don't know if I have one. Yeah, there is a lock. If they're too touchy, this one isn't that touchy. You can do this screen lock thing, so that way you can scrub it down without constantly pushing buttons and turning the thing on. But this is an old microwave, so it's not really that touchy. But I do that with a lot of people's ovens because they're so touchy. Just remember to unlock it when you're done. I had an owner not know how to do that, and I forgot. She called me, and I was like, oh no. Basically, just press the button for 3 seconds, and it locks, and same to unlock it. Okay. I know I'm being very tedious here. I'm just seeing like, okay. Sheesh. That is. So I'm going to use my seasoned rag again for the stovetop, and then this to shine it up. But let me do the orange glow up here with my dryer rag. Yeah, that looks so much better. I don't know, I like to find ways to save money on cleaning products because they can get expensive. And so some of these just basic stuff you can make, and it actually works better than Windex and whatever other stuff that you may buy. All right, so let's get wiping that down. I'm gonna get my sip of coffee and I'll be right back. All right. So there's this display. So I got my seasoned wet rag here to wipe down everything. And that's why I always do the floors at the very end, by the way, because when you're dusting, you're cleaning, you're doing cleaning, you know, countertops, whatnot. If there's anything on said countertops, they're going to fall on the floor. So it's just best to always do the floors at the very end. I know that seems like common sense, but maybe you don't know if you're new to it. There's always like a order. So what I normally do typically is I clean the bathrooms, then I clean the kitchen, then I do the dusting and making the beds, whatever. And at the very end, I do if I need to sweep areas that my vacuum can't get, like say between the refrigerator and the drawer here, like, so I sweep to get all that stuff out, and then my vacuum picks everything else up, and then I mop, and that's the end. All right, let me get. Sometimes I to get in between knobs here. I want to turn this on. Thank you very much. Try to get everything here. You finding anything, Joby? I don't think so. I don't have anything for you. Nothing too exciting. Okay. I like to get down eye level to this thing so I can actually see what I'm doing. So I don't know if you can see me. You probably see my head. All right. Right. All right, now I'm going to take this rag, maybe wet it just a little bit. Get that display again. I got that. I'm going to do the orange glow at the end. Let me just wipe this stuff down first because that's not going to work for that. Orange glow is just for this part. Actually, get the seasoning right on this. I always also, like, I'm just using 2 rags today, but I always have a bucket of rags because you never know how many might go through. I'd rather have too much than not enough. I have had scenarios where I've done, maybe multiple cleans in a day, which I don't like to do a lot because I don't have the stamina to do that these days. But there's times I've had a multiple cleaning and I'm like, thank goodness I have enough rags so I don't run out. Or I'll bring more than I need and just have it in my car. So you never know if you have to bring it out. So like example, like a canister vacuum, I don't normally bring it out to use, but once in a while I have it. So I will have like extra mops or the kind like mop and bucket, but I normally use the mop head thing, but everyone's different. So I want to make sure I'm prepared for all of that. So like either the Swiffer kind of mop or the old-fashioned mop and bucket. Let me get this wet one more time here. I don't want it too wet though. I can get a new rag though, but for the orange glow, because I like to have it a little bit just to get the grime from the stainless steel part. But you don't want it too wet because then it's going to just not, it's going to streak. The oil is not going to. Sometimes I'll finish it off with a brand new rag just to like shiny it up. Okay, so if there is any streaks. Okay, and then for this area, it's a lot better just to put it on the rag as far as not wasting it in case it sprays everywhere, but sometimes I will directly spray it, especially if it's on the fridge because that's a big area. I think my dog's disappointed that I'm not providing him with snacks while I'm cleaning because I don't have anything. There's no crumbs to fly down. He's still searching around. It's just cracking me up. Okay. All right, now we're going to get to the bottom area. Excuse me, Chihuahua. Okay. All right, now I just need to put the grates back on. And this is looking a lot better than when it started, so I'm happy with that. I could go with the easy off and go crazy on that, but I'm just doing like a basic surface cleaning on this stuff. That you would want to soak for a while. And wear gloves because that stuff can burn through your skin sometimes. Okay. All right. Well, that's how I do my cleaning of said microwave and stovetop. So hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Bye.